Yo, 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 yo. What is up, my peoples? I switched up the vibe a little bit today. Hopefully that's not a problem. Yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. I don't know why I find that so funny. It's the Swervy Jones in me. How you doing, Nacho? How'd the test go? I'll leave it there. Hope the test was a success. No details for anybody else. None of your business. Patreon only. Great success. All right. Congratulations, Hunter. Heard about your great successes as well. How's everybody's Wednesday? Better than Tuesday. Tuesday was a disaster. We will. I don't want to say struggling. It's not a struggle. And we thought about doing a Patreon video to kind of do a little bit of explaining on it, but the back end of setup has been a little daunting, and I'm not keeping up with it, which is a little concerning to me. I did almost go like, maybe don't stream today, focus, get things done. I got some progress done yesterday, but with the car breaking down, it kind of dampened everything a little bit. But I was like, you know what? Push through. Just website stuff. And so since I left the job, I had to, I wasn't prepared to go full Swervy Jones, on top of trying to figure out what's better for doing branding. On top of being an automation director and knowing, working with so many companies over the years and realizing how much companies don't have or use CRM systems of any kind, let alone understand automation. So as I left the job and started focusing on Swervy Jones, it was, well, what makes more sense business wise? So I had to kind of rethink some Swervy Jones stuff because last time I was doing the business, it was a lot more branding and a lot more animation. But Swervy Jones as a brand is a lot more like childish, fun, colory kind of feeling. And companies don't necessarily want to use that vibe, right? So it was like, okay, what do I do with the branding portion of the company? And then I started Renovo Agency to start working with businesses to help with their branding and the back end of stuff, CRM systems, automating messages, follow-ups, things like that, just helping them organize their business on top of management, right? And then so I've had to build all that while keep going. And then Red and Randy was kind of this like, okay, it's this thing I want to work on. And you guys have given me such a big push with the Red and Randy that I kind of just have slowly been tapping the other stuff, and it's making it a little difficult to stay up with everything. It's a good thing because once things are finished, I'm good, right? It's just, where do we put it? What do we name it? It's more a me thing, right? Making decisions, deciding what needs to go, working with what clients I'm working with. I'm working with Premier Kitchen and Bath, which used to be Premier Restoration back when we used to do the podcast. They're one of my clients. So it's just building all that stuff out. there is some big things that I talked to Nacho and her significant other about, that we may see if we can't, because what we've noticed with Hunter is he can build the games and do a lot of that type stuff, which I have a huge client on a hook that needs a UI built, which I'm pretty sure he could already do, and I've already did a bunch of the Photoshop for it. This was back around February, towards the end of February, March time. I was talking to someone that worked at a golf cart company, and they need a UI built. And I came up with a simple solution, product UI. I can actually, I'd have to kind of hunt it down. I'll look for it while I tell my stories. Probably should be in just chatting, not art. But anyways, yeah, they're wanting a product UI, or at least one of their salespeople wants to. And he's like, the company would pay quite a bit to get something like this, but they kind of they're going to want to see it first. So I started building it. I used essentially a Shopify plugin to be able to kind of test the UI of it. And, but there was a lot of fees associated with the plugin. Like they wanted like 2% of this company's sales. This company does like $70 million a year. They're not going to give you 2% of sales off of everything for a UI. So I was like, it's better. It would be better to build that. So, I kind of put it on the back burner to focus on building the Swervy Jones and the Renovo agency, along with Red and Randy picking up steam this last month and me getting better at streaming every day. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And, so it's been eating up a lot of my time, but I did mention it to them about the UI that is a potential build we could do, which would probably be pretty easy. Again, the thing that works great with myself and Hunter and myself is, I can do all the art setup, all the Photoshop, all the animation graphics, all that stuff I can do and give it to you and go, hey, this is how I need this to work. And then that could be like a huge client that could like fund a lot of stuff, but it's on the back burner right now. So it's something that is a good idea to go after, but the Red and Randy links need to be set up. I have to do some CRM and email systems for clients. I have to get their stuff set up. So it's been a lot of pressure. So going through all that stuff, and I'm lacking on being able to do things, add cool stuff to the stream. We want more than just beef logs. We want like cool and like what I'm ashamed of my, not ashamed, but it's the cheap graphic overlays for, rewards and subs and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's a lot. So I'm able to spend a couple hours in the morning, get some things kind of going, and then I realize I start getting sucked into stuff, and then I'm like, I can't do this now. I gotta switch over to stream. And then when I get on streaming, I gotta switch over back to that. It's like little hiccups that happen along the way slow a lot of that down. Like I worked on some banners to update some website stuff so we could push a little harder on the Swervy Jones website for Red and Randy. Like I need to update my homepage. I got to add merch. And I get some stuff set up, and then it's like, okay, we'll check the mobile, see how it looks, and it's like, oh, it's cropping the images. You can't read the text. It's, it's just little things here and there. It's just a lot of projects. I put too much on my plate in order to survive, and now 12 hours a day, business all the time. And I've talked about it with Kareem off stream about, like, he's like, don't burn yourself out, because I'm in contact pretty regularly with Patreon through chats and messages. I might not do a ton of posts, but we do talk regularly. So it's Kareem's like, don't burn yourself out, and even Nacho's like, do what you can, don't burn yourself out. But we got to keep Hunter busy. Summertime right now. It's the perfect time. Testing games, getting a hold of Dan, which I think he's on vacation right now. I saw he's in Tennessee. So I didn't want to do a follow-up email with him yet. Lots of things, I was looking for this UI system. I thought I had some videos of it. Excuse me? Do not. At least not in that file. Let me see if they're Photoshop files right now. So, since Hunter asked, we're going to talk about, which some of you guys saw me doing the golf cart stuff early on. But basically, it's swapping out colors and golf cart parts, different roofs, being able to swap things out. I believe it was wheels as well. Yeah. Just stuff like that, which is super easy. It's images, right? It's just lining up the position and then having a UI that, you say, I want these seats, and it puts the seats in. Put my windshield on top. And it's a great, we did this with, it's just different seat colors. Yeah. But anyways, I'm just building out a UI like this, and it's a big client, or could be a big client. They do a lot of custom stuff. Like I said, they're doing millions of dollars a year. No, don't say it. So I'm trying to, no, I'm not trying to. That's something that is definitely a big ticket item to go after, but we're not fully established to really run after it. And that was kind of the thing when I started it. I thought I can charge right after this, but without having something to show them first that makes sense, there's no reason to chase it. But they do not have a UI, and they could really use a UI for their sales team. Businessman, business. Yeah, it's a sales UI, but more so just so their sales team can show their customers what their custom golf cart would look like before they buy. Because right now they're going like, oh, here's the golf cart model. And then they're pulling out, a pamphlet and going like, oh, well, here's the colors it's going to be. And your seat will be like these seats, but it'll have these colors on it. Yeah, so you missed everything I explained and pulled up. Great. You know? Not really a website. They have a website already. It's more just something for the sales team to open. Eventually, it could turn into generating sales through a website, but right now they have nothing. Like absolutely nothing when it comes to being able to take the parts that they can swap out and customize on the golf carts. They don't have any way to show their clients right now. And I know it's super easy to build. Like super easy to build. And that's kind of why I was forcing myself to learn code or back-end code like that. But I mean, it's a menu. It's not any different than like the website menu that I use, right? Which is almost everything nowadays. It just has to be able to like, they can click on it, they can change, swap things out, boom, they're good to go. Here, this is what your card will look like, and then they can close deals. It's just, do you do a license system for it, or do you just straight out sell it to them? If you straight out sell it to them, we can do, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, big shit. But all the business stuff has to be aligned to close some deals with clients that are that big. And some things just aren't finished. I'm not finished laying all of it out. So I gotta, once everything's kind of locked in and a little more polished and finished on my end, it'll be a little easier to rock and roll with something like some UIs. Like, I haven't had the time, the available time to put into learning a little bit more about Godot in order to help streamline our back and forth. Because I mean, I could totally like pre-lay out a design for that. I know exactly what they want and what would like impress them to make that sale. Actually, I think I had a dummy version. Let me see if I can find that. That's what I should have looked for. And I think when you see it, Hunter, you'll go like, oh yeah, like we could totally do that. Was it concept? I have a couple variations of it that I worked on. Yes. Okay, here. This is the concept. Perfect. Maybe a little bit better on this layout I have on the right, but the F, yeah. So essentially something like that. They would pick what they need. They would click through this and that. And probably touchscreen mobile function of some sort. But I mean, I have the parts already. You know what I mean? I know where my text needs to go, what we want it to be able to do. I just got to finish it off. And I mean, this actually has the potential to lock in a huge deal. I mean, how complicated would something like that be? As long as you had all of these files. Right. You'd crush it. Crushed. So we get some, I recognize the power of the coding that you're able to do, especially with the nodes. Like I would really like to understand how the nodes work in Godot more, So I got to put some time into it, and until I get cleaned up, it's too many small spurts of stuff instead of like being able to stay focused, get something done, and then move on to the next thing. Focus, get it done, move on to the next thing. Focus, get it done, you know, over and over and over again. And as things get completed, it makes making UIs, any UX, any game development, stuff like that. It's not that I have ADHD, and maybe I mean, there's always a chance I have a little bit of it. I've never been tested. It's, I know that I can only put this many hours in, and then I have to switch, and then this many hours in, and then I have to switch. So I'm not hitting a big flow state, right? Because as soon as I do, it's like, okay, now I got to switch gears and start over again onto the next thing. So it's, you know, I start with the Renovo agency in the mornings because that's kind of the hub, even though Swervy Jones is the like head of that. And so I work on some client stuff. I get, you know, plus waking up, like it's get up in the morning, get my coffee going, get woke up, teeth, all that stuff, get clean, work on Renovo, work on that until I need to start streaming. I've been late the last couple days because I'm like, I gotta focus on this, keep going. Then it's all right, stop, go to stream with absolutely no stream plan other than what we've talked about the previous day. So it's like, okay, I just go work off our spreadsheet list that we have and try to figure out the plan from there. All right, work on that thing. Like yesterday, I worked on the dock and working on like laying out the gator. I got a little bit done to prepare us for the next steps, but not enough time to get it to a finished state, right? I mean, the water's got a pretty good potential, and we did get a gator laid out. It needs some cleanup. I just slapped them together, but and you know, it'll be a recycled character, but then I gotta make, we gotta get gifts made, or not gifts, sprites made. The video file kind of messed with us. But I'm not ready, no pressure. I don't think any of us are, but I think the way it started, right? Because when we started this, it was like, oh, let's. You're like, hey, I can turn this into a demo for sure, and we got there within what, a week, 2 weeks, and like, and not even like, you started throwing little demo things out at me like quick. So at the speed, like, you know, capitalize on the moments. So like, you kind of, for being as young as you are, you kind of have a direction you already know you want to go. I would like to support that, and I have the capabilities to give you all the stuff that like you don't have, right? I've already got access to the Adobe suite. I already have Moho. I can export the files. I can make animations. I can do graphics. I can do all the things that you need, and pre-plan to build the gaming portion of everything so it is streamlined and scheduled better, because I'm building out systems like that anyways, or platforms, not necessarily systems, but platforms. And it also gives us potential to later have our own systems where we don't have to outsource anything, because some stuff is outsourced. I mean, I know these are like super big giant things, and I'm a bigger picture kind of person, right? Like, I look at 5 years from now, not necessarily right at the moment, unless I need to focus on right at the moment. overschedule myself. Like, I recognize the amount of potential we have in front of us, not just for games and not just for the businesses I'm building, but like the shift that every company is going to be forced to go into and is already headed into, getting on the ball with that. The future is very bright. There's a lot of business, like LLCs that need to be created, pages that have to be finished and set up. And then we got to do ad pushes, and there's a lot to it. It's much like the game, right? We started with the game and it's like, oh yeah, just make a game. And now that we've got way further into it, there's spreadsheet files, there's sketched out level setups, there's thousands, we're getting close to 2,000 files already. It's just so much to do. Editing. I need editors. There's that too, right? Like, I've been trying to I've been trying to plan for YouTube videos and Patreon content. But the more I do things, and throughout my life, everything's better when I just do it live. Like, when I used to make music and I would do freestyle raps and we were making rap albums, most of the time everybody enjoyed when I just kind of like freestyled it. So anything that I do, it's better to just record it live and send it, minimal editing. But you got to make shorts, you got to make reels, got to get those posted. And again, that's part of like the platform system I'm using that streamlines a lot of that and makes it easy. So as bright as the future is, it still is there's a lot of putting together. On top of like the sheer panic of like financials, because as fast as I'm doing them, it's getting eat up. I'm just not in a safe place at the moment. I was like, God, I need to get things done. That's kind of why streams have been short, and then and today will probably be short. I'm just trying to stay focused on the right things and get stuff accomplished so we can have that bright future. And you guys have already helped ridiculously amounts. Like, the fact that I don't have to try to figure out some of the game stuff on my own. And we had a little bit of an API conversation too. Might need some API stuff. API and super hard to do, but as long as they're able to read each other. We got to do redirects. Like, I need to redirect the Red and Randy domain. Yeah, let's just go. Forgot what I was going to. So like with my website, before I dive into that, like this needs to be a little bit cleaned up and tighter, look a little bit better. It's not bad, but like there's a couple things. The branding and animations are going to kind of go away from Swervy Jones and get tucked into Renovo, because that's more business, right? And then, though this is a nice page, right? It's got everything we need. I'm sure a goal counter is something that people would like to see on here. What's the goal and where are we at? And a video. I need to put a video of our current process like right underneath this so you can see what's going on. Because I realize like I don't have a video of the game. Who's gonna... Any person who's not been here that comes across it is gonna be like, I don't know this. You know, I need a and most crowdfunding campaigns, there's gonna be a video that's kind of like, this is what we're working on, this is what we're doing. We just don't have that yet. And then is that something I edit, or should I just freestyle it, record it, and put it out there? But we've had crazy progress. It's ridiculous how far it came already. I've said it before, and it's not like a dwell on thing, but if I would have had about 3 more months to prepare, it would have been a smoother launch with everything. But we wouldn't be where we're at, right? Like, if I would have had 3 more months there, I wouldn't have been trying to get the streams out and get reels and all that stuff and keep up with everything. I would just now be starting instead of like, it's been a couple months, everything's kind of happening. I did work on a couple banner stuff that I was trying to get put together. And it forced me to kind of figure out, how are we going to word this thing? Yo. What up, Cream? I've just been pretty much rambling for the last 40 minutes, roughly. But I worked on a little better banner page with some updates. I added some flamingos in here and just trying to figure out a good way to word what's going on. And I felt that was appropriate. It is a video game crowdfunded by the Florida community thus far. And then, nope, not that one. I just today started with the what was it? This was another banner I was trying to get set up. Lost my train of thought. But this is where that's one of the things where I was having issues. When I put it on the site, switch to mobile mode, it doesn't resize those graphics. So the banner that I was trying to use isn't going to work because of that. Nonsense. Crazy. Extreme measures. And I'm like, there's been a few times I'm like, I'm not getting any art done. I need to make more art. Because I'm not using the iPad. I haven't got any paintings done. But then I am able to calm myself and go, wait, we've done a crap ton with Red and Randy. Like, we've done a lot. So, you fight your own, or I fight my own mental battles sometimes as well. I'm not doing good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm good enough. I really am. Stop down talking yourself, Jones. You know what I mean? And thanks, Nacho. I am. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. I'm Nike. I mean, you know, it's none of this is about like complaining, right? It's figuring out what is the better entertainment, is especially as far as stream goes. I don't want to bore you guys with some of the like, and I know I've had streams with it before. I know, Kareem. But when I'm making characters in Moho, it's less entertaining. Unless you're super into like using the Moho software, you know? Drawing sketches out and turning them into characters is more entertaining, as it's a little more freeform without any like technical distraction, right? It's just like sketch, right? And same thing with painting. Even though painting has a plan, or it has been planned out, it's just I'm painting this, I can have a conversation while I paint. To where when I'm making an animation and building a character out, especially with no sketch, I run into things that just don't look right, and it's like I have to abandon what I'm doing for the sake of being able to talk. Not always, but it's like you get hyper focused in on something, and then you're like, I realize I haven't talked in like the last like 10 or 15 minutes. So if you're not interested and you're not sticking around for music, not entertaining, you know? I want to have better plans for streams as we move into the bright future. And it's like I find myself jotting down a note that just says stream and nothing's underneath it because I ran out of time to think. So what is the balance, you know? What is, you know, and it's a personal thing that I got to figure out. Like, what's the best thing to focus on right now? Where am I going? What do I need to work on? How do I plan that? Okay, this is working. I can move on to this thing. But that needs to get done. I need to get those things. We get there though. Okay, that's the group I created. And I know a lot of you guys have been around since the podcast days, and a lot of the fun times we've had on streams, even recently, is when we have good conversations. And the better we can have good, solid conversations. Jesus Christ. It's quamficated. What? Good conversations are better entertaining and have better results at the end of what the day is. So more like if this animation was more done, right? And I'm just using this as an example, and we already had him in the water and we're animating him to come up and do things, or, you know, jump out of the water, snip up, maybe he's in between, you know, where the dock layout is versus the background, yada, yada, yada. That's more planning and going like, well, he could do this, or you could do that, or you could turn him into a platform, and we have better community, right? Ooh, go back one. Put my gator back. So where if I'm sitting here zoomed in going like, all right, I'm gonna move this keyframe, see if we can't make this better. It's cool for the sake of tutorial, right? But not entertaining or enjoyable while you're working. And I know a lot of you guys come around while you're working. So having a pre laid out plan is better. And see, like these are invisible. You can't even see those. And see, like even right now, I'm like, okay, I want to adjust this and make it look a little better. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm essentially just clicking on anchor points and making adjustments to clean up and make things a little smoother. But that's not why you guys come, right? You come to fill these big Florida fantasy dreams we have. Obligated. You're obligated to be here. You be there every day. Don't miss a day. Grounded. I'm just kidding. I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, it all makes sense. I know that rigging characters is not for everybody, and neither is making animations. And it takes a lot of concentration. I watched Meat Cannon, I want to say like a week or two ago. And Meat Cannon is a super successful animator. He's been doing it for a long time. And I saw that he was streaming, and I was like, okay, cool. I'd like to check that out. I go to his stream, and he's literally not talking or saying anything. And I was like, I'm bored. Like, I got better things to do than just like watch this dude draw. No offense to him or anything, right? I think he realized a long time ago, like, if I'm gonna stream and draw, like, it is what it is. And he said, you know, this is what it is. And I'm like, I could do that. And I've tried to do it a few times, but that's when not as many people are hanging out. Less chat happens. Like, I've built brand on engagement and having a good time, right? So I think it's important for me to maintain that. Where's the balance? You know? Clump in there. And, you know, I've been paying attention to it for a while. Like, as I've been doing streams, like, okay, what is the good content? What are people enjoying? Where are, you know, when are people not engaged or less likely to be involved? And a lot of the times it's when I'm like really focused on animating. And when it comes to audio and animating, which I haven't even got into yet with Red and Randy, it's going to get very repetitive. Back when we used to do the Tom and Dan cartoons, same thing. I would notice the same thing when I would start editing the cartoon. It loses that, like, this is interesting because it's the same audio, and I'm so I'm such a perfectionist with timing. So it has to feel right. And if I'm drawing something, or not drawing, if I'm animating something and the timing is off, I will spend, 20 minutes going over that same audio. And I know if I was listening to somebody else do it, I would be like, I'm not watching this. I can't listen to that. Especially if you're not like into those types of things. Cutting video up and listen, in the case of doing Tom and Dan tunes, listening to Tom and Dan listening to Tom and Dan say the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Meanwhile, I'm able to black it out. Like I'm hyper focused on timeline and movement, right? So it doesn't bother me, which I think is one of the skill qualities I've developed from doing animation, is I learned how to just not listen to what I'm editing. Though if I'm lining it up to voice, it's halt. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Tom going like, halt, hey, halt, he, just to make sure the voice lines up, right? Listening to small little syllables of noises. Ooh, that sounded a little weird. Rewind it again. To where if this was like if I was doing a YouTube video on laying out a rig and it was specific and people were showing up to see how to rig in Moho, it would be entertaining because you're learning something, right? To where I feel like you guys come, and then if I'm sitting here going like, all right, well, hit the C key, and then we're going to hit W to minimize the whip. We're going to do that here and here. We just want to make it look good. It's... Is that what you're here for? No. You're here for exciting Red and Randy adventures and building community. I'm assuming. Or has times changed? Like, shut up. You keep clicking the buttons. Tell us what you're doing. And don't get me wrong. It's probably, Hunter probably to a certain degree likes kind of learning this stuff and knowing what's going to be headed to him and how it gets there and things like that, right? And there's a few people. But like since we focused on the game a lot, I've noticed some of the new people that followed. Boomer was one of them. Boomer used to show up when I was doing the painting stuff. And then he showed up for they showed up for a couple of the graphics and animation stuff and then stopped coming around. I think it's because focusing on animation too much. Thin these lines out. Watch me thin a bunch of lines. But that's a huge improvement, right? Spending all that time on that. Look how good it looks now compared to this one. And these back here. If I wasn't able to keep talking the whole time, this would not be entertaining. Just a little. Oh, this turned into a techno party. I tried. I wanted to switch the playlist up today because we kind of just been doing the same music over and over again, and it was wearing on me, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was wearing on you a little bit. So I went back to the stream beats today to kind of mix it up a little. Although, as far as animation goes, I've noticed. Let me make sure I'm still on the playlist. Okay. It'll switch to copyright music real fast sometimes. But some of the recent stuff that I saw about Disney and them bringing back 2D animation made me go like, oh, maybe people will be more interested in rig setups. Because a lot of modern, definitely TV shows, Rick and Morty's a big one that uses rigs. I believe The Simpsons do as well. Probably Family Guy. I know there's been people that make Family Guy rigs, but they aren't necessarily the Fox Animation Studios. But building rigs out is like, especially for 2D animation, is like the new norm for animation studios. Or even freelance animation, I think. Don't get me wrong, 2D is frame by frame is still on a whole other level. And that's something my daughter has always impressed me, is that she likes to do traditional. Damn it. So everything, though digital, everything's hand drawn, frame by frame, which is why she doesn't spend a whole lot of time. We'll grab that one too. She doesn't make repetitive animations. They're always something that's new, which is awesome. But I do know when it comes to TV shows and series, and it doesn't matter if it's 3D or 2D, it's made with rigs. So learning how to rig animations is very powerful amongst the industry. It's getting into the industry that's hard, and a lot of companies are still super into 3D. Like it's the end all be all, and it's not going to be. 2D has shown time and time again that like people like a flat image being able to be turned into something that's 3D. Cuphead was a great example of that. That entire thing was done traditionally, and that game is amazing. Not just the animations and not just the gameplay. The whole feel of that game is just wowie wooey, you know? Oop. Oop. Right there. There we go. We're going to add a little depth to this guy. And we want to get rid of the stroke. And that'll probably arch up a little. But I think I like that shading. That adds a lot. I need to squish both rows a little bit, because those might actually kind of, from this kind of angle, those would be a little more on top of each other. Let me squeeze in there, please. Thank you. Dodge all of those. Bam. And the more we layer, the worse it gets. I like that. I do like that a little better. And we'll grab this other one. Whoa. And see, then focus turns into super eye. Like, look at it. Penetrate it. Actually, let's do this the other way. I went too far. This is a lot better. A lot better looking. We're going to offset this a little bit more. We might do it that way. Back to the body. We'll add a little bit more. Details that you won't see, right? We'll know it's there, though. It's not always, not everybody's going to notice or see, but we'll know it's there. I don't know. Do you enjoy me being quiet and just clicking buttons, narrating the animations with dead space or music in the background? Or do you prefer me just rambling like I've been doing today? Don't forget to stay hydrated. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some refills. All right, I'm back. Hope you enjoyed staring at my gator. But where were we? I was babbling. That's where we were. Talking just to talk. I used to tell some of the guests when we had podcasts. I would say it to Trey and Crystal, who used to do the podcast too. I would say it to them all the time. Is sometimes you just gotta leave because I don't know how to turn this thing off. Talking about my voice. I feel like I talk a lot, and I realize a lot of people don't, and they don't want to talk a lot. But I don't know how to turn it off sometimes, which is a good and bad thing. And maybe that's why I feel like it's not entertaining if I'm not talking. It's just like dead space. And from podcasting, and I used to be a super huge talk radio fan when I was younger. Like, I loved talk radio growing up. I would actually listen to it more than music sometimes. But then as you get older and you learn that a lot of it is nonsense and or made up content, it kills the illusion, and then you're like, I did that with the wrong tool. You know, one of the big things with radio was keep talking. You should be able to, what did Jim Phillips used to say this, or I've heard him say it before, and he's right. We're actually gonna pull it up here so it's easier to get to. If you're gonna do radio, you want to be able to talk about anything nonstop. And just keep going, which is a lot harder than it sounds. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of reps to get used to doing that. Tap the down button a ridiculous amount of times. Here we go. Get back there. Boom. Shadow. More shadow. So I have that like bug in my brain of, and I think that's my overthinking, kind of like what most of the conversation has kind of been today. It's the overthinking of is this entertaining? Am I talking enough? Because I was used to doing it for so long, especially with streaming and podcasting. Self-doubt. Everybody's got it. Maybe not everybody. Believe in yourself and you can achieve anything. Never stop talking. Unless you're Alicia, then please stop talking. I did boot her, by the way. Anybody who didn't know, gave her the boot yesterday. There we go. That shows that teeth better. We want to see them teeth, bowl. Because she was, she was a bit annoying. So I discontinued like the more option. So we had the option to Kareem donated some money. We put it towards Alicia, and we were able to use her 3 to 4 times a week, I think. And I think that was just too much Alicia. So technically, when we want her, if we want her to come back, or maybe we do a day where she's around, we could bring her back. But she was pretty annoying sometimes. Funny. It did make things funny occasionally. I'm going to get rid of all these scales and bring the scales I just did all the work on in. But also I didn't want her to be a crutch for myself. And a lot of the edited content that I was getting, or that's been going out recently, is a lot of it's Alicia. Like a lot of it. Oh, we'll just grab everything. And I was like, I can't be relying on Alicia all the time.
So good and tasty.
Hey, Image Raw. Thank you for the follow on Kick. I appreciate it. Hopefully you are entertained and enjoying yourself. It's kind of been a little bit of the discussion today, right? And I also noticed when we had the AI, when we had Alicia, some of the people that hadn't been around in a minute and then showed up, I think they scoffed at it and then disappeared.
So good and tasty.
There's that weird delay that I get. I don't know why that delay still happens. Something's broken. That's kind of what my point was earlier. I got to be able to spend a little more time off stream getting stream stuff set up correctly. No one's perfect though, right? I'll put as much effort into everything I can as it comes to fruition. So some of the rigging, some of the designing and character stuff, I'm gonna try to organize a little better so I can we can have better conversations. Oh, I didn't want to move that one. Dang it. Because sometimes when I'm brainstorming, I'm not sure what I'm gonna work on, what I'm gonna make. I know it's gonna be a mess. It's not going to come out the way I want it to, which is going to frustrate me, right? Because when for someone like me that, and I say it all the time, make a mess first, figure out what the mess is, then make adjustments, right? Sometimes making the mess, you kind of have that like little bit of not embarrassed, but, it's kind of shift the blame where it doesn't belong. So I'll have that like, oh, the stream's distracting me, or this is distracting me, or I can't get away. And it's just like my brain isn't processing how I'm laying a sketch out or a design. Like this guy yesterday, I absolutely needed to walk away from laying the gator out because it just didn't feel right. The dock, we breezed right through it, no problem. Like it came out quick and fast. The some of the wave animation needs to be kind of toned down. I know that my outside points of this, which will actually, when we export, be right here, those need to be perfectly lined up in order for the repeat of the sprite in the game. So there's that built in, like, am I good enough? Do I know what I'm doing? Like we were talking about earlier. And you get frustrated when you're like, things aren't working out. Especially when there's the added annoyance, right? Got stung by by wasp on Friday, which if the Benadryl wouldn't have helped, I'd have probably went to the doctor. It was getting a little concerning. And then Monday was fine, and then Tuesday car breaks down. Hey, you can hear me now, Kareem. You know how it is. It's today has been a Swervy Jones babble. He's babbling. Which, as I was talking about earlier, I feel like that is the thing that you're here for. Kareem, who's the greatest sponsor I've ever had, longtime supporter, the best supporter. He believed in me even as I was like trailing off. He still believed me. He's like, he'll come back. He'll do it. Took a little longer than expected, but we're just I forgot what I was saying. Shadow broke my concentration. Kareem likes when projects are getting finished. He likes seeing projects get made, and he likes seeing it get finished. So as long as progress is going, he's happy. However, he's been around long enough to go like, he enjoys the ramblings of a Jones. He brought up a good point to me in one of our like after stream conversations, because like me and Kareem, we hang out, we game. He's got a pretty good video. Was it Saturday? It was either Friday or Saturday night. We played Fortnite, and we did the old. We've done this before with our dad squad that we have. We went and ran our lowrider emotes and just drove around Tilted Towers until somebody joined in and became part of the fun. And most of the time when we do that, as long as we stay in the cars, there'll be a team that's like, protect the lowriders. Which is what happened. We had like two teams running around with us, like handling everything, and we just kept cruising around and either dancing or riding in our four-wheelers or lowriders. So if you're looking for a good laugh, go check out Kareem's YouTube channel. It was a good time. Not relevant to my babbling, but yeah, I guess my big point today and all my ramblings is that I just want to be able to provide not just the best stream that I can, but the best overall everything. And it's gotten a little difficult to, at the moment, get everything done, which is why streams have been kind of short. And why is that not? Oh, uh-oh. Look at that. My ramblings are causing me to mess things up. Get out of here. There we go. Balance. I'm trying to get a little bit better balance. And that's kind of what me and Kareem talked about. Is he's like, don't overdo it. Don't stress yourself out. Everybody's cool with what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you need a little time, take a little time. And I don't think it's so much the time as I just need to get a couple things finished and accomplished and be able to stay ahead of myself. Because right now it's been kind of difficult to stay ahead of myself. And it'll pass. It'll pass. It's kind of just at the moment, you know, at the moment struggles. Like if I'm a little more prepared for stuff like this when the stream starts and I know exactly what I'm working on and some of it's kind of already worked out, it's a little easier to like get it done and maintain a good solid conversation. Because it's better, I mean, just as far as Swervy Jones content goes, it's better when we can have some good dialogue. Even if most of you guys are working. And also, maybe I'm completely off base, you know? Hunter might be bored out of his mind right now. No, I didn't quite finish the new tree. It's close. Kind of the change, not change, but I probably should have did it in Moho and I didn't prepare it for it. F it. We're here now. Let's do it right now. Let's see if I can, because I realized I have a lot more functionality in Moho Studio. I really do. Let me save this though before I forget about it. Where are you at, tree? The tree does look a lot better and a lot more amazing. It took me a while to get there, but we got there. Let's see what happens if I do this. We'll call it tree moho move and see if it prompts me. There it is. So yeah, I have to go. This is what's crazy is using Illustrator with Moho. I have to go back to like an Illustrator 8 and save it. And I believe then I can, then it'll allow me to bring in the vectors. I think. Ooh, where'd that file get saved? Probably sprites. Did I make a tree? Where'd I save the files? I need to just click that, get that out of the way. Props. Prop file. Props. Importing files. Look at my loading screen. Watch it load. I probably didn't need to load it in the doc skater file, but whatever. Just wanted to make sure it worked. Jesus Christ. I didn't need it. See, so like that is so many points. Wait a minute. It's pretty much got everything though. I'll see, but it didn't. It damaged that image in the back. Right. And that's all the key points. That's all all the anchor points. That's how many anchor points are involved in that. It's wild. I wonder if I just broke it. Yep, I broke it. I told it to simplify those layers or those anchor points. And now I wouldn't be surprised if the program doesn't crash. No, did not crash. Let's see how. I don't think it damaged too much. So, the point of the tree. Go ahead and hide the gator in the docks. Don't need that house either. So the reason it's better to do the tree in this software rather than Illustrator like I was doing, which I can do some of the stuff in Illustrator. But I can grab that stuff, hit copy. We're going to create a new vector, hit Control V. Did that not copy that? Maybe on the wrong tool. Copy. There we go. So where we get a lot more power is, whoa, freaking software out. It was doing fine. That's a little broken, but I'll work with it. We're going to hide the other tree. We're going to take that background green and make a new layer and paste it there. Then create a new group. Bring those files into that group. And then we're going to turn this into a mask. So now, anything from the top layer will only work inside that mask, right? And that allows us to not have to worry so much about the shine or the brightness, right? I can pull the brightness out and still have it on that tree. And that's like super simple to do, to where it's a little bit more of a process with Illustrator. And I've noticed that more and more with the game. I need to be doing it all in here. So when changes need to be made, I'm not having to go into Illustrator, make the change, export it. You know what I mean? To where if we're exporting everything from the game from Moho is so much easier. That tree looks crazy bright on that export. And that's probably because of exporting with the old Illustrator. Q. It just didn't bring the colors in the way it should have. That's why the tree didn't get finished, because on this, there were so many layers already from the file. I needed to, why can't I click on that? Is that on this layer? Yeah. I didn't like that there wasn't a mask here. So I'd have to create a whole mask process in Illustrator, which isn't as easy as Moho, because I want those lines to be nice and clean. Which I think all I have to do is go masking, exclude strokes. But for some reason, it didn't export the strokes like it should have. Which again, not a super huge deal. We turn it on. Do 2. I mean, turn that off, but. And then not perfect, you know, because it did all this crazy stuff with the colors, but when you compare how that line looks to the way it ended up looking on Illustrator, like, it's just easier to do the masking in Moho. That's why you don't have the tree, because I have to do more work to the tree. Also, maybe I do have a dash of ADHD that just has not been checked out on, because I just hit the ground running yesterday and started making level 2. Meanwhile, the trees need to get done. But I was, you know, in the heat of the moment, I'm like, don't worry about the tree. Just go to the next thing. And I was like, we need more characters. We need more animals. So I just went to animals. Push forward, you know? But hopefully by the end of the weekend, and I'm only saying the end of the weekend to give myself breathing room, but probably over the next couple days, I'll probably be able to get it to you. I'll get it loaded up in there. Part of all the website stuff I got to work on, I got to work on a better plan for our schedule. Not necessarily for you, but for myself, because when we kind of just did it on the fly during the stream, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this, and I don't feel like I'm that organized. Which you've been doing Hunter has done an amazing job on keeping our spreadsheet organized. I'm actually really impressed, because I get a lot of people who just, or I've worked with a lot of people who are just not great at doing schedules. And for being young, you're good at it. Real good at it. Great success. Let's see, I might have to clean up some of this stuff on his tail. Grab both of those. Hopefully I'm not boosting his ego too much. Nah, I'm just kidding. I used to hate that in the manufacturing industry, is people were constantly like, oh, don't blow his head up. Tell him he's doing a good job. He'll let it go to his head. And I'm like, but he did a really good job. Like, that's how you keep employees happy, is you make them feel good about what they're doing. And then I would always lean over to him and go, you're doing a great job. I'm really impressed. I'm also a better team leader and a manager than some of the people I've worked with over the years. Their leadership sucks. Oh, mobile controls? That's fine with me. Red and Randy's not necessarily meant to be a mobile game. So that is absolutely okay with me. When I saw that you were kind of working on it, I was like, oh, I mean, that'd be cool. I don't know if it's necessary. But I was like, sometimes you got to let him cook, right? He's cooking. Turns out the meal is dubious. And it'd be like that sometimes. That word's not used enough in society. Dubious. It was one of my favorite things about Breath of the Wild. Is they called the meals dubious if you made a bad meal. Right there. Oh, your phone can't handle it. My phone can probably handle it. Maybe. No, I feel like that game, it's going to be Red and Randy's going to be a pretty heavy game. For a test level, well, okay, so that's something I've been thinking about too. And we've talked about it before on the stream. I think we should take some of the Red and Randy stuff and make some arcade type things out of it, like we did with the test phase of stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. Like almost, like rather than it being a test, it could actually turn into like Red's Bug Brigade, and it's just about like getting the highest level you can possibly get, and it progressively gets harder and harder and harder. Like turn some of the sprites we already have into arcade games. When I say arcade games, that's probably more like a generic app to someone like Hunter, right? So to you, it's probably more like just standard like mobile apps. But when they're arcade games, back in the day when I was young, it was just to keep you playing and trying to get the next high score, and really it was a money scheme to steal all your parents' money, because we were just feeding it quarters back then. I don't know exactly how and what, other than like the bug thing at the moment. That's just kind of an idea, concept. And, it could maybe have raccoons, but just rack up how many points you can get, Mindless gameplay. Or something. I've actually impressed myself that I still got the ability to talk for 2 hours straight. Into mundane moho movement. Look at me, I'm great. All right, you get you a lunch. Matter of fact, I may have to all that needs to be cleaned up. That might be too far down on the tail. Gator's gonna take a while to get clean. The house. It's not a house. See if I can get these colors pulled over here. I don't know why it made them so bright. Cancel, and then I need this color. Oh wait, that's not how you do it. I'm going program to program. It's already highlighted. There we go. That's what our color should be. Much better. I'll get all that stuff dialed in. And see, here's one of the things, like, quote unquote, problem with the mask, or doing the mask. Some of our shadows couldn't creep out there. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff I'm talking about today, hopefully it doesn't come across as like a little like whiny. I'm not trying to be. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on, and I want to get things right so we can have that great big bright future that we want. There. And then our back color would fill that in. See if I can get some of this. Just breathe, Jones. I mean, you know, I am. And I think that's why I think it's important to talk to you guys about it. Keep you in the loop, if you will. Right. I'm not like super overwhelmed or anything like that. And things aren't crazy. Things are going good. It's just there've been a couple days where like I almost was like I should just bail on the stream. But then I pushed through it, and then I'm glad I did it, and everything's good, you know? Yeah. And we've the way I started to talk about this when I was talking about Kareem, the conversation with Kareem. So Kareem, anyone who's been around a long time, which Nacho Mama is, and I think I've mentioned it a little bit before. About 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, 2 to 4 years ago, when like the podcast had kind of settled down and we were building animations, and trying to come up with stuff like we did, The Devil's in the CEO and things like that. We were trying to build out the like Jones Corp world, and really what has happened is like the fantasy we had of building the Jones Corp world has now turned into the reality of building Red and Randy. And it's really exciting and it's really cool, but it's almost too fast, too furious. But I'm so close to having my ducks in a row and things just coming out. I won't say perfectly, but perfectly. Like things are lining up and getting put together. Coming out real nice. But, you know, things could take a turn dramatically as the donations pick up more and the Patreon picks up more and the clients pick up more, to allow me to actually hire some staff. And then that'll be a huge relief. That's way down the road, or could be down the road, or it could just boom, 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 and happen real fast. And then next thing you know, Hunter's going into his next school year with an afternoon coding job, you know? Back to bright future. Things are too bright that it's blinded me with science. That's for all of us old folks that were born in the last century. Nacho knows. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end right here. Good talk, good chats. We're all happy and satisfied. Things are going great. The progress has been amazing. Trees, alligators, water. I'm about to load up a ton of sprites. I already have some ideas for Hunter / Slime Time. For his graphic, I've thought about it a lot. A lot of thinking. That's what I get paid for. I get paid for my brain. It's a mess sometimes, but it's powerful. Never be afraid to learn and expand the brain. Push to new heights. Build that brighter future. Build that bigger world. Uh-oh. Florida called and hung up. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to keep chugging along with this. I will let Hunter know if I update some files and things. I mean, he sees everything, so he'll know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Treat yourself well. And make sure you stay hydrated. And also, if you need coffee, get your coffee. You hath returned just in time for me to say bye. I'll be in touch with you, Hunter. Like I said, I'll let you know when files are updated. I'll try to keep you in the loop as much as possible.